Big creators annoy me. It's not the people themselves. That's not the problem. It's the whole concept. The assumption behind this concept is if you're on one of these big stages, you know what you're talking about. What I found is it's not true. It doesn't mean that some of those on the stages who are very visible don't know. Yeah, of course. A lot of them do know what they're talking about. But the big creator community doesn't include a lot of people, or actually anybody I find sometimes that actually knows what they're talking about in a way and is presenting things in a way that's useful to get us in our markets to level up, to get into the next level. It's actually the opposite. And I find the big creator movement is impeding progress in most markets. It's dividing the community. And that's why it's not working. My recognition of this came back in the 90s when I was in a business that I didn't even want to be in, but I created a professional distribution company from a mom and pop company. And it was a grudge match in part, but it was also based on the lifestyle I wanted to have. And I had to do it to get the lifestyle I wanted. And I did succeed. And we were considered the boutique reps. That wasn't me. It was my mom and dad and my grandmother were considered the boutique reps. We were in the back corridor and we were considered second tier or third tier, or fourth or fifth tier, even depending on what market you were in. And I thought, this is totally unacceptable. And I changed it and we became first tier. And some had bigger volumes, but they weren't really business owners even. They thought they were, but they didn't control anything in terms of their product. We didn't either, frankly, because we were a distribution company. But we did control our brand and had market visibility on our own terms. And that changed everything. Now the phone's ringing because they want to talk to me. We became the brand. I became the head of that brand. In some ways, vision oriented in terms of what I was doing. But I didn't get the credit for it because it was a family business. And, you know, I've had to deal with that and that's fine now. To get through this era of big creator economy, I just call it the popularity founder mode. So popularity founder mode is what I'm talking about here. And to get through popularity founder mode and really say, yeah, I'm not going to do that, required learning how to do it. Not that the results got me to popularity founder mode where I'm on a stage with, you know, the popular kids, but not the point. The point was I know what they're doing. I know how to do it. And I've been doing it for years now to figure it out. And I have been doing that my whole life in every market I've ever been in. But this time I did it online in what people are calling this creator economy or this social media influence economy, depending how you look at it. There's two sides to everything. You know, there's the, you know, let's say the head of the coin is the creator economy. That's great, right? Then there's the other side, which is the popularity influencer economy on social media. That's not so great. So what's the antidote to this? The power of community. Because instead of dividing in your market, you're bringing together in your market. What does this lead to? A permanent success platform for you. And as things change, and they're going to change even more, I believe, and I think we all know this. I don't think it's an opinion. We're at the beginning of this rapid change movement because the AI hasn't even infiltrated the full society yet, and all these hierarchies haven't collapsed yet that have been established, you know, back in some of them in the 1950s. At least we're talking about, you know, the modern economy in the United States part of America. That goes back, you know, to the 20s, 30s, and even in the 1880s. And so you could even track it back longer. But I'm talking about the modern technology economy that started around probably World War I. But you go back to Gutenberg. So, or you go back to the Stone Age with tools. Now you got division. I got the tool, you don't have the tool. Division began back then, Stone Age division. I got more tools to know how to use them better than you do. Well, David had a slingshot. There's the secret weapon. So as it gets stagnant, those with all the tools start to collapse because they're stuck. If you've been out in the wilderness honing your slingshot, I've read about this like I wrote about this like a year ago. Um, you're going to win right now, big, big. And to leverage the market is the key to it in a lot of ways, because otherwise you're just broke. You're just on your own in a silo, or maybe in a little echo chamber with other like-minded people making an art house film that no one will ever see except your friends and maybe your family. That leads to no money and no real opportunity, and being stuck and never making the impact you desire. Isolation. But there can be isolation in a little band of, um, misfit Avengers stuck on the island of lost toys. I've been there, so I get it. But I don't want to stay there. I would recommend don't stay there, especially when you got something good. So if I look at the market and the politics in markets, which is the kind of stuff I talk about on Fridays, I think it divides into two groups. And the first group has three categories. I just think of them as sages, the people who just know and they get visible. So with entrepreneurs, it's people like Ray Dalio. Now you could see him as a finance person, but he's also an entrepreneur. Warren Buffett, finance person too, but he's an entrepreneur. They're original creators of businesses. Bill Gates, another one, real entrepreneur, real thing. And they're starting to cut through slowly. But they're getting there. They're getting there. People are starting to listen. See, real eventually wins in markets. So they know they're not sages because they have humility, and what they're doing is serving in a particular marketplace to elevate it. So in Ray's case, it's about people who need to know how the economy actually works. That's helpful. Bill, saving lives all around the world and eradicating diseases. Way to go. Warren, and Charlie, with him as a partner, Charlie Munger, helping people understand how to structure a business financially, so you don't have to answer to people who, you know, financial founder mode people, whatever it is. They only care about the money. They don't care about the thing you're doing. In other words, they don't care about the market. In Warren's case, it's the market of people who want to succeed as investors. I started in my 20s and it worked. Not that I'm sitting on a massive pile of cash, but I got enough that's grown over enough years where I can do what I'm doing now and not run out of money. I don't want to crack that robin's egg more, but the nice thing about the Roth IRA is you don't have to pay the tax. You already paid the taxes. You lose the growth. This is Warren Buffett's. So just okay. So that's one. Two. I think of them as the connectors. So they're definitely not at that what I call the people who have transcended the market. They've gone mainstream. So think about it like the music industry. It's like when country, Willie Nelson, right? Redneck country, whatever, Nashville, and now he's Willie Nelson. He transcended the market. He crossed the chasm into the mainstream. That's these. Every market has these people. You want to ally with them, know them. They'll meet with you too. And Warren charges, but he gives the money to charity. Not charity, because he doesn't believe in. I don't think he believes in charity. I don't believe in charity either. People don't want charity; they want opportunity, and that's what he's doing. They're all doing this. That's why they're who they are. That's possible. Every market has people like this. Now, the next part are the connectors, and these are people who are connecting new ideas together. They're connecting new people together, and they have some kind of a platform because they've had enough success where they have credibility in the market. They don't have to fight for it. They're not celebrities. They're not playing that game. They don't need to. They're already there. And these are people who their phone, they need, you know, some assistance because otherwise they would be absolutely destroyed and sucked dry by vampires trying to sell them or get something from them all day long. Um, we have these people in every market, and these are my main allies. So I look at people like this and I like, oh, you actually know what you're doing. Would you like to be part of what I'm doing? And you see that in every market too. And these people are innovating, they're doing new things, but people know who they are. Just in a lot of them are heretics. They become heretics if they go, you know, too far into truth and transformational change. You want to ally with these people because they're what's next. It's definitely coming, but they're already there. Okay, so now the third type in a market is the um I put myself in this category is the what's next people because they've been doing the hard work in the wilderness long enough where they're ready and the product's good and they're ready, but nobody knows who they are yet. Except the inner circle people start to know them because they're the people looking ahead. And you want to ally with people like that at the right time. And the reason is that they're still figuring. They're not to the point where they're gated themselves because they're just overwhelmed by all the people who want stuff from them that should go do the work themselves for a while first or learn how to approach them properly. I've always get in the private rooms because I know how to approach people. I learned that when I was 17 years old, and I've always done it, so it works. Sometimes it's hard and I overstep a lot, but not anymore as much. These kinds of people want to connect into the market. They're showing up at things. They're showing up for things still because they're watching. They're noticing. They're thinking. And you wouldn't think people like this would be in these, free networking events or sitting in the audience at a TEDx talk, which is now a platform for coaches to sell their books and programs. Um, but they're there and they're very approachable because they're trying to get their thing to work. They know it'll work. I know mine will work. I know what I've got to work. But I'm doing it. Those are really good people to ally with. And I always look for people like this. And some people have found me who, I'm like, why are you doing this with us? And it's like, because they've already made millions of dollars and they've succeeded. And it's like, because I know it's going to work and I'll get equity. Like, yeah, you will. In some form, profit sharing, equity, something. Of course you will. Uh, if you do what you say you're going to do, and the answer is, of course, people like that always do what they say they're going to do. That's why they're where they're at. That's why you want to be associated with them, and they'll lift you up because they want people to get their movement going. That's the whole idea of this. The biggest movements in history started with marketing stunts, but not at the beginning. You don't start with a marketing stunt. That's just a popularity contest, big creator game. That's not the same thing. That's before the product even exists in some cases. Some of these people think a marketing funnel is a product, believe it or not. So, in that other category now that you got to avoid is the celebrities. The celebrities are people in the market who aren't there and everybody knows it that knows. So, that's the old saying of those who know don't speak. They do speak and they're visible. It's just no one hears. And then they do speak. You have to say something about what you know, but people don't hear. So you got to work on how do you explain it to yourself first, and then other people. My approach is called "Build It in Public," which I learned about back in like 2018. It's a good idea, I think. Some people can't do it. It's scary to them. To me, it's fun. The second type of person after the celebrity, what are the celebrities doing? They're creating cash cows. So what they're trying to do is create a cash cow so they don't have to work. And once they get the thing dialed in, they can just be celebrities and they get invited to all the stuff, the fancy parties. Um, I was thinking about that movie years ago, the Titanic, and I forget who it was, but it was, I think, the character was Rose. played by that, she's really, really solid, English, actor, depends how old you are, right? I'll just say actor so nobody gets pissed. Um, and, can't remember her name. She's good, with Leo DiCaprio, so she played, opposite him, and, there was I don't know if it was her or somebody else, but there was a scene where she says, "Now they're gonna go sit on the or sit now they're gonna go smoke their cigars after dinner and congratulate themselves on how smart they are." I thought, exactly, that's the celebrities, and every market's got 'em. Um, Watch them, know what they're doing, and be a foil to them if necessary. If you need them, be 7 Up to their Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola. That's an old thing, I'm not gonna explain it. I wrote an article, it's, based on a marketing trout and rice, called positioning. The other way you could do it, those are the big creators sometimes now. Um, and I'm not talking about people who are doing creative things in the market. I'm talking about those who are professional celebrity creators, like, Kim Kardashian or, um, Russell Brunson now. He was the other thing before, but now he's professional celebrity. Same with, Grant Cardone, or any of those people. So, um, run. Um, it's, all you ever get to be with people like that is in the audience. If you wanna be in the audience and be a beginner for the rest of your life and never do anything, go for it. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're looking for. Now they have inner secret rooms, where you can buy in and then you get to be in the audience. You gotta be you have to earn into the inner secret room. That's my point, is they're not gonna let you in until you have the success. It's called the after story gets to come, or those who are needy indeed us. But there's a self-serving component to that too. So that's one. Two is the social climbers. So, now I'm being negative. I'm not, but it's just, don't be an asshole, right? So the idea of the social climber is just the striver. So they're looking up and they want to be like that person. So they'll do what they say and they're trying to please them. Run from those people, but learn from them. I spent a couple years in networking groups with coaches that were doing stuff like this. And what I found was so many of those coaches were so good and so smart, and they were trapped in these how to improve yourself, networking groups and, online. It all went online. And I was like, oh, wow, this is the same thing I was in I think it was late 90s, early 2000s in Chicago in person. Like, it's exactly the same thing, but now it's online. But what was great about it, I met Brian Muka, my co-founder, at well, that was a little different because the woman who ran that event was a badass, so good at what she does. So, okay, I'm making my point, I guess. So that's not a celebrity funnel event. That's not what that was for. She was bringing people together in her market because she was innovating in, gamification of communities. Uh, RJ, RJ Reed, I think, with the glasses, fabulous person, fabulous. So she attracted really good people to the event. There's a lot of people like this. Kat Stancik's another one. I've seen a lot of people. Carolyn and Susan from Grand Connection. Mary Lise and, I forget her partner's name, but, they're in, I think, Lithuania. Fabulous people and really good community. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the people you wanna ally with. They're not playing the celebrity game or the striver game. Now, who else is in the market? And this is almost everybody in these markets, is beginners. Decide when you're a beginner and you won't pick up all the bad habits that we have to help you unlearn. It'll be so much easier for you and for us in our community, Entrepreneur Experience Campus. So much easier. The biggest barrier to success I'm finding is habits, bad habits, and it's beliefs. It's I have to do it this way, I have to do it that way. Where'd you learn that? Is what I start asking. I'm trying to get them to shake loose the belief they have to do it these certain ways that are they learn from the celebrities. And, the smart ones who succeed eventually drop out of those meetings and go a different way, and then they succeed. The biggest movements in history started with marketing stunts. Gandhi, the civil rights movement, and Rick Rubin from Def Jam knew how to play these games, and they did them with intent, which led to massive, huge impact. John Lennon, the master of marketing stunts, John and Yoko. The same with business entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, Mark Benioff, and Jeff Hoffman, who co-founded Priceline. He used Captain Kirk in his Priceline ads, marketing stunt. Mark Benioff, no software, no software. And he went to the Siebel user convention and they ran around with these signs they made, no software, no software. Of course it's software. It was software in the cloud. You think he didn't know that? It was a marketing stunt. It worked. Fun. Steve Jobs, the big reveal. And then everybody wants to line up at the Apple store. Hilarious. Bill Gates did this. Windows 95. Marketing stunt. Worked. So I'll share an idea for local community. Well, okay, but I'm going to get the marketing stunt real quick. So marketing stunts are important because there's a moment called crossing the chasm when all of a sudden the beginner's heads swivel and they're like, oh, this is going to work better for me. You need the marketing stunt to get the visibility. We're going to do one. Think flash mob globally and locally. I'll share an idea for local communities who desire to bond together and take control of their economy. I started. It took me 3 weeks to pull this together. It's not completely done, but I got a chair of the group already. And it's the home industry group in Skokie, Evanston area. And it can spread out into Chicago. We'll see how that goes and how many chapters we want to do in home. But it happens so quickly because when you find the right people, they know the other right people and they don't even know it sometimes. And I just pulled it together and I've got it all. I got a TV show, local TV station that does a high-end home show. He's in. The chair is a franchise owner of a remediation company, and I found him by not using Google. I outsmarted Google, which was going to send me a shit company, Service Pro or Service Master. I was going to have problems dealing with them. I'm like, I know what's going to happen. I'm not doing this again. I'm going to find somebody who knows what they're doing, and I did. So I invited. He's like, he wants to be the chair. I offered it. He said yes. Plumbing company, and here's the big win. I bought a Carrier. We have a furnace from like 1970s. It went. I had to get a new furnace, and I'm like, oh no, nobody knows how to do this. It's going to be a nightmare. I'm going to go on Google and get a company out here. And sure enough, and they're automating their systems. They don't know how to do the back end tagging. Like, oh my God, it's going to be horrible. They're big on Angie, or they've got all these ratings and reviews, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going to suck. It's going to be horrible. Well, it wasn't. And I found a company locally called Shavitz, and their top salesperson came out, and he knows what he's doing. But now we don't have a problem. We had to replace not only the thermostat, but the humidifier. And I picked Carrier because I thought they were the best company because I looked them up online, and I used to sell to corporations, so I can kind of tell where their strategies are. And it still didn't work. And it's like, this is not our fault. And I'm like, I know it's an IT problem because IT people don't want to go work for those companies. Now you may want to now. I think it's going to shift. I think the IT people are going to go work for places like Carrier that treat them well. There's going to be a big change in this whole industry right now. And we've been talking about this for a while because I have somebody in our group, Jesse Storch, who's an expert in IT. So he knows exactly what's going on in this industry behind the scenes. People want a life, okay? And to be able to be good at what they do and not be treated like a child when they're the one in the room who actually knows what's going on. So anyways, the tech comes out and he knows his stuff. And I knew it. And I'm talking to him about, he's telling me how the whole industry, they're in the pilot ambassador. They're in the ambassador program for Carrier. That's why I picked this company. They're on the new stuff and they know what's going on. Carrier's a good partner. They're a good partner to Carrier. So I approached Rich, who is their top salesperson. And I said, you guys went in on a TV show. Let's talk about this. And it's not to expose the dirty secrets, no, it's to tell the truth about what's going on in the HVAC industry. And you know what this does? It makes Google obsolete. And the game on Google obsolete. It just takes it away. Nobody gonna care because locally We're not only going to make this happen in our community, there's more to it. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg of this thing. So I say this to people and they're like, oh, you're starting a networking group. No, I'm connecting a market together. They know each other the minute they get in the room together. They're like, oh, you know what you're doing too? Builders, real estate agents, mortgage brokers. Oh, we're bringing it all together in a home group. It's not about trading leads. What happens when you get business and your business is going well? They stop going to those networking groups. They're for beginners or people who know how to do it really well, and they trusted advisor networks. So they'll go to a BNI meeting or chapter meeting. You don't even need the BNI thing after a while. It's for beginners. You just find your 10 people or 5 people. You never need Google. You never need to market again. You get the right people. They'll just refer each other around. That's how trusted advisor networks work. You don't need all this other stuff. This is different. This is a what was I calling this? Power of community. This is the power of community. They're never going to leave. And I have a global platform to help amplify this with rooms of experts, but also a content platform that we own, hosted on High Level, and a communication system in Discord. So if school closes down, we don't lose because they have a tendency to do that. Sam does. Sam Owens. It's his history. And they'll get bored or it will stop working and they'll close it down. You're in their product. Now, I'm not picking on them. I'm just telling the truth about these different sides of the market. So if you're a beginner, you need that kind of training, go get it. But you're going to learn some bad habits. Now, if you want to get it right, be with some people on the 7-Up side. How's that for a sales pitch? All right. That's my idea for local communities. We can do this globally. We could have thousands of these chapters. We could have little TV shows, local stations. There's new concepts for local retail footprints. One restaurant kitchen. You got 5 restaurants out in the front. You partner with the real estate investor. You partner with the right community managers and the taxing authorities that work it out with you. So everybody makes money, including the municipality, the local government. This is a way to avoid crazy. So United States of America is not the only crazy place in the world, but we're leading the way. But that gives us the biggest opportunity because a lot of people here just opt out of that and do their own thing. It's easy to do that in the United States. I think it's easy to do that everywhere, but in the United States, we're particularly resourceful when it comes to refusing to go along with the status quo. Okay. It's possible with the decline of Google right now, poor service and the technology issues at Amazon, which are getting severe, and what's going on with Whole Foods and the lack of authentication on Facebook. That's a serious problem. What's going on Facebook to slip into a very powerful market position, not by opposing those things, but providing a better alternative using these methods I'm talking about. The key to this, working together locally while connected into the global social media economy and online communities. So the social media part is that's the tip, but you want the real stuff underneath. And Substack kind of plays into that, sure, but it's still their thing. Wheelo, our metaverse campus, is ours with Wheelo, really tight partner. Substack's still a really good partner, but they're going to make the rules and adjust. But it's useful. But I look at High Level and our content system and Restream here with their new little video clip thing. I'm like, they're not perfect, but I'm not going to screw around. I don't have time for that. I was like, thanks, Restream. Way to go. It's super cheap. That's the key today. I'm doing this entire business for under $2,000 a month. The key is working together. Okay, you don't have to do the local. You don't have to do the global. You can pick. But I like the idea of bringing it together. That's my job. It's hard for people to see how these things fit together, and I can do that. And I can execute on it because I have the whole team of people behind me with this, but they're not behind me. We're together. That's the point. I'm not the celebrity face of it. We're together. We're doing it together. The social global media economy, online communities. So Discord is the best platform we found for online communities because a lot of this crowd, particularly these like teenagers, 20s, 30 somethings, they don't want to talk to each other. They want to do it in an online community. And they love Discord. And it's the best one because it came out of gaming. So I think Mighty Networks and all that stuff, it's just doesn't work for me. What's important is low cost. Low cost is critical. Using AI as a tool. It's not the prime course. We're going to have an AI session for the lowest cost part of our product, which frankly, there's ways you can even pay for it and not pay us. We have we'll make help you make money approaches. We'll make money together, or you pay us. But that is a very low cost 90-day quick start, and we're going to run a weekly room on how to use AI, so you don't have to learn how to do it. I call it AI for dummies. We've got branding for dummies, AI for dummies, More Money Now, which is my room for dummies. We've got the Invincibility Dojo for dummies. That's Brian's room. Because when I'm learning something new, I just want to be a dummy. It's easier. And being smart about the intent and impact. So intent and impact is